Hey guys, before this video starts, just to let y'all know that this is part 2 of a video I uploaded previously, so I recommend giving that video a watch before watching this one. Alright, peace.
Alright, so technically speaking, this next one is a pair of monsters, but they are made to work together, essentially, as one whole fight. This is the Fanged Beast pair, Lolo and Ray Gogarth.
Lolo and Ray Gogarth. They look cool.
Sonic and Knuckles, essentially.
Ah, yeah, look at it. The color scheme. That's sick. Yeah, they're pretty. I like it. First of all, just the design. Neat. Really neat. Fang Beast, Fang Wyverns. We get Fang Wyverns. We get a bunch of them that all look like dogs and the like. Even though these are kind of dog-like, I like how...
I can see they have some Pitbull energy in, like, their faces.
Yeah. They just seem different though. I like them, and because they're like I said, they work as a pair. So you have, when you go to fight them, you have to fight them both together at the same time.
Yep, and they have special coordinated attacks where, fun fact, they might as well also be wrestlers because they have sync up attacks where they'll basically throw each other around or like combo you.
Excuse me? They're grapplers?
Well, I mean, you can check out the video to see.
Oh, wow. They do look interesting. Okay.
So yeah, it's just some trailer there. But yeah, they have basically like an animation where they'll be calling to one to the other, and they'll do a sync-up attack. Well,
okay, so synchronized attacks.
Yep.
Oh.
Just flings the other up into the air to be like a cannonball.
This is insane. Honestly, I like it. Because like, when do you look, bro gave him an alley-oop? Where'd he go? Oh! Wow.
Yep. And they've got a couple of moves like that.
You know what? That is a super cool mechanic. I like it. Yep. Yes, it's gimmicky. Yes, people are probably gonna get their shits pushed in because it's kind of tough to fight two monsters at once. I get it.
That or maybe bully them. I don't know. It depends. But yeah, a few other things. They have a special status effect that a couple of other monsters use, known as magnetization. And I mean, it's what you described. So on some of their attacks, there will be like a field or radius that either pushes or pulls you towards them. So you've got that to deal with. And then they have a couple of other gimmicks or like unique behaviors. So when you KO them, or one of them, the one that was KO'd will have stars around their head and will start beating the shit out of the other.
Oh, so the point is to actually bring impact.
You can definitely do that, yeah. And yeah, they've got unique behaviors with each other, with beating each other up, and they also have unique death conditions where if one of them dies, the other will act differently. So if the red one dies first, the blue one will flee and be unable to enter rage. If the blue one dies first, the red one will be in permanent rage for the rest of the hunt.
Oh, wow. So the strat is to kill the red one first.
Yeah, or just whatever one you do, because they're not male and female, they're more like dominant and recessive gene, essentially.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You know what? This is what Teostra and Lunisher should have been, in my opinion.
I can see that, yeah. I mean, their puddles and flames do affect one another, but in terms of just like more coordinated attacks, definitely.
Right.
Or I think that's just something more pairing monsters could use in general. Like, Rathian and Rathalos really don't have unique patterns when they're with each other.
Any synergy whatsoever outside of like if you hurt one, the other one shows up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
so. You know what?
Yes,
these
I hear
guys
from Lolo and Ray.
Yeah, that is a definite yes. Bring these in here. If we get to do some funny grappler duo, dap you up, do a backflip thing, alley-oop stuff.
Dap me up.
Dap me up. I'm down for it.
Oh boy, I think So if you've liked all the previous monsters, I think you are going to like this one especially. Considering you like Eucanlos.
Oh? Oh man! That's a turtle. I like
a turtle. Odabatarasu, also known as the Red God or the Sand God. It is the third sibling, or it is a sibling to a Cantor and Eucanlos, essentially.
Interesting. So for me, a Cantor and Eucanlos is aunt and uncle. So this is like aunt, uncle, and cousin?
I guess you could say that. Yeah, they're estranged cousin.
Twice removed.
Twice removed, yeah. But yeah, Flying Wyvern, like the rest of them, huge, hulking behemoth, and like, I do mean that. He is quite massive in the gameplay. Like, just, here's a random screenshot. Like, this is how big he is. He is
good
massive.
gravy. Bro is huge.
He is a biggin.
My word.
Yeah. He's got the little chin protrusions there on the face. And he's got little beady eyes as well. They're hard to see, but he does have, like, some little beady eyes under, like, the brows.
I don't know what it is about me and big chins and beady eyes, but soft spot.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it looks so cool. So, why are his titles, you said the Red God?
It is the Red God or the Sand God. So, like how Eucanlos is known as the White God and a Cantor the Black God.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that makes the pairing there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So he is the flagship of a update for the game. So there's the trailer there you can check out, and then I can pull up just general footage of him. He is so massive that he eats a Kuravashimu, the scorpion monster.
No joke.
He preys on the scorpion monster because of just how massive he is.
Bro is huge.
Yep. And he doesn't have a special arena. He's instead fought in the Gen 2 desert, but it's the big round area.
So only like one area? Kind of like...
Yeah, you fight him specifically there. He does not move anywhere else.
Okay, cool.
And so, like, you can see him fight where he's a slow target, so he mostly moves by, like, creating sand ruptures in the ground. A bunch of AoEs around him to get you off of him.
Okay, hear me out. Purely a G-rank monster. Purely G-rank. And heck, let's keep it going. Let's say he's the Urgent into G-rank. Or the first Urgent once you actually get into G-rank or something like that.
I could see that, yeah.
Like, after the story, like, you know, does whatever the story does, and it's like, hey, there's a little bit more game left to go. And then, like, maybe 2 more tiers, and then, like, boom, he's the first Urgent. It's like, yo, where the heck did he come from? Like, oh, he was just chilling.
Yeah, he was just chilling in the desert, way over there.
Heck yeah. Dude, this thing is massive.
Massive, lots of sand AoEs, can swim through the sand and chase after you, which is fucking terrifying. And that huge cannon shell, that isn't just for decoration. He can shoot artilleries or shells of sand out from it.
Insane! How am I supposed to, like, okay, so I went to this video thinking, okay, some were gonna make it, and okay, some weren't. But, like, banger after banger after banger, this is, what, 6, 7 in a row? This monster
Frontier monsters
sick.
are just built different. What can I say?
Oh my goodness. Why don't we have more of these guys? Capcom, the heck? I will say, this young man right here, yo, the Sea God, excuse me, the Sand God?
Sand God.
The Red God? Yeah, need that.
we need the third sibling to complete the trio.
Him, I gotta get the other 2. They gotta be there. I won't accept one without the other 2.
I'm not sure how you'll feel about this one. It's one you may have been seeing in a couple of the screenshots we've shown so far. But this is the unknown black flying wyvern, or as I've heard in some translations, or people refer to as Rauro.
Unknown black flying wyvern.
That's its name.
Me, it looks like Rathalos went through some experimental
Goth
experiments.
phase.
Yeah, like you could tell, we could see the Wrath influence in some of it, but you can also see where it's like totally not Wrath at the same time.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a mix between Rathalos and Rathian. Like you can see the Rathian chin spike there, but it has more of like a Rathalos tail.
You can see the Rathian webbing.
Yeah.
Marking.
It's a little bit of a hodgepodge.
Yeah. Also the hair on his back. I'm pretty sure that's a Rathian thing.
Yeah, that's a Rathian thing.
Yeah.
But okay, what would you like to know about our good old friend Unknown here?
Let's see. Wait, so his name, this is not a title, that's his name.
That is not its title. That is its name. That is how it is referred to in the game. It's a little bit of a special monster, so this was early on, but when it was first introduced, it is an invader. So whenever you start up a quest, so you can just check it out right here. So whenever you start up a quest in Frontier, there is a chance that Unknown could invade. And when it did invade, you'd have this like special little logo pop up at the start of a quest when you're in camp with the little Unknown mark there. It's like invader has appeared, and that's how you know Unknown was in the quest.
Okay, hear me out. This monster might get a yes from me if it only shows up this way.
It does not. There are a couple of fixed instances where it will appear like there are quests dedicated to it, but like this was like the main way I found out about it. It's like, oh shit, there's a monster like this that invades? That's rad. And I mean, it is a very rare chance. Besides that, it's very unique in that it has seven different modes of enrage. And the special thing about that is that once it goes into an enrage, it will not calm down. Yeah, once it gets into Enrage 1, it will go into Enrage 2, Enrage 3, etc., etc. Like, it will not calm down. It is too angry to die.
So, it basically has 7 phases.
Yeah, pretty much. Each phase, it will get more moves to go along with it. It borrows moves from other monsters, so it has, like, a Gravios Beam. It has a little hip check move. It has, Flaming Espinas's standing charge nuke that goes into the air, or like that he flies into the air for. As well as other moves like a fireball rain, like it can rain down spikes from above and more. But that's it by default, because it has a special endgame variation. Which in itself is a special variation of another endgame. So this is what's known as a Solstice War Unknown. And essentially what Solstice War was it only belonged to 2 monsters, but you fought the monster at max difficulty. And they usually had an entirely brand new phase. Exclusive music, attacks to that phase, and your reward for it was like some pretty powerful gear.
Oh, he actually takes flight. Holy smokes.
Starts ripping chunks of the tower you're standing on.
Okay. And then he's even more turned up.
Yeah, this was the special phase unique to Solstice War.
This is a monster. Let's just say, alright, I'm gonna put it like this. The answer, unfortunately, is gonna be a no. And it's mostly because we're just not there yet.
We are not, or I think of it like this. If it's Unknown when it came to her standard or its standard version, like when it's invading, I could see that. Solstice, though, or like with the Solstice changes, hell no. At least not right now.
Yeah.
We progress a little bit further down the line to bring in something like Solstice.
But I do like it. So let's give him a maybe.
Okay.
I don't hate the concept.
The first maybe out of 7 monsters so far.
It only took a bog standard Rathalos monster for me to say, maybe.
Last 2 monsters going for a bit more of a tame one here. And yet another Fang Beast. So, this is Gogamoa.
Huh. Interesting. You're gonna have to do some convincing.
Okay. So It is a fang beast, and it's kind of like a spider monkey, essentially. So its main abilities are it's got little pouches, or I'm not sure what they're called, but like it has web creating devices, like Spider-Man, I guess you could say, under its arms, and it uses that to swing around the trees of its locale. So it will swing from tree to tree, it will shoot webbing at you, and it will even like launch itself using the webbing. That's like its main primary attack. It has a special sort of gimmick. In fact, you can kind of compare it to like what Wilds is doing now with certain attacks. But if you time your attacks when it's pulling itself with its webbings, like you can either cut the webbing or do a counter attack essentially when it's shooting itself towards you and receive no damage, and you'll be able to counter that attack. The main defining trait of Gogomoa, though, is that it has a smaller monster always accompanying it in the hunt. A little child, which is called the Kokomoa. And so you can't see that in the first render, but this is like its second render where you can see the child better. But occasionally it can be knocked off of its back, and you can beat the child.
Yo!
You can beat the child, that'll do damage to the parent, and if you do enough damage, the Gogoma will fly into a rage, and its attack will be boosted, its speed will be increased, but you will deal extra damage to it.
So essentially what's gonna happen is we're gonna turn this child into an orphan.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Damn.
Damn.
You know what? For the darkness,
I mean, that's nothing new.
That is true.
Speaking in Monster Hunter.
There's a lot of orphan monsters out here. That's for certain.
Even perhaps some abortions, you could say.
Absolutely. And put it like this, because we can see the child that we're about to make an orphan.
As it is on the back. You can knock the child off.
And then beat it up.
Yes, you could beat it up.
And then kill its mother.
Yep.
You know what? Okay, so it's winning some points back in my favor. Show me how this thing fights. Let's take a look. Alright, let's see here. Lush. As you'd expect for a monkey. Oh, it's really Spider-Man.
Yeah. It swings around on webs from tree to tree.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can even see like the little counter gimmick I talked about at one point. Attacking you.
You know what? There's one thing Frontier does. Even if you look at the monster from the outset and say, not a fan. You gotta, like, give credit to, like, all the cool stuff the monsters themselves can do. Like, this monster that I was about to put the fattest no on is slowly but surely winning me over. Yeah. Like, the way it battles is insanely cool.
Just swinging around like that, holding poses, and then just web barraging you sometimes, which, yeah, it can also do that. And yeah, I mean, this is, again, another early on monster. So they were still trying to create a unique roster of monsters at this point. They were experimenting with some things. So,
you know what?
It's a little bit clunky around the edges, but that's to be expected.
I'm gonna give this one... I'm gonna give it another maybe.
Okay.
But I like to say this one is probably it's the closest thing to a confirmed yes I can give it. But I'm going to say no simply because of... Okay, so when this monster first came out...
Yeah.
It was a easier time to do some outlandish things on the internet. Well, the world was less prone to swinging at people for doing outlandish things.
This was like one of the earliest updates. This was 4.2? When was this? 2011.
Okay, so a cool 13 years ago. Insane. 14 by the time Wilds comes out.
Oh, God, yeah. That's crazy to think about.
Actively turning the little baby on his back into an orphan is something that's gonna have to do some reconfiguring.
Oh.
For sure.
Okay, yeah. I can see that, considering outraged media nowadays, or just clickbait media, where they can easily put a spin on it. I mean, fuck, that's already happened with Monster Hunter, with like fucking. I think PETA has made posts before, and well, we all know PETA.
Yeah,
those assholes. Or it's just like, yeah, a lot of people can get misunderstandings or trying to do clickbait. Or it's like, are you the villain actually?
Yeah, which is the only reason why I'm putting it as a maybe. But like realistically, these things put aside, this would be a perfect like tier 2, tier 1 sort of filler monster to put in.
This is a neat tier 2 monster. I could even see it like being in a Scarlet Forest because of like all the trees it could swing around on.
Heck yeah. So you know what? It's a maybe for ethics, but a yes in my heart.
So that we don't have any trouble from the ethics committee, we're gonna have to put this as a maybe.
yeah, but you know, like I'm winking behind this armor. Okay, believe that.
All right. Last monster to go, and I'm gonna be completely honest here. I am biased in this. This is a biased choice for me. This is a personal favorite choice, and it's one you've probably seen from my videos when you're checking it out. But oh well, here it is. My favorite monster in Frontier in all of Monster. The only Elder Dragon I picked. Rumu.
Okay, I didn't know his name, but I've seen this one before.
Yep. I mean, no, it's not like as if he's my Discord profile picture.
I mean, not at all. No. I mean,
no, totally not.
Yeah,
here you go. Seeing
completely different image.
Mm-hmm.
No, this thing. Okay. Do you fight this thing on an airship?
Non-air. You're thinking of another monster.
Okay.
I know what we're talking about in terms of that. Though it's like I was also considering that monster.
Because I remember him being like this golden thing. And that's kind of what this guy reminded me of. Because I don't know Frontier like that. I'm just, similar looking monsters, just kind of, yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, you do fight him high up. Like, this is the arena. He's got like a special throne made for him that he sits on at the beginning of the quest and gets off of when you fight him.
No joke.
It's
sick.
Yeah, the only Elder Dragon I chose, because, yeah, again, as cool as the end game ridiculous Elder Dragons are, I didn't want to over-rely on them for this selection.
Right, and plus Elder Dragons are overplayed. There are dominoes and absolutely everywhere. They get all the freaking
There is a lot, yeah. Okay, what would you like to know, though, about good old Guan?
Okay, so I'm looking at the guy, right? And the first thing I'm noticing off top is, okay, his gold coloring and the enormous amount of spikes on his wings, but also the pattern on his wings. So if I had to give a hard guess, is he like thunder and fire or something like that?
He is a fire monster.
He is a fire monster, okay.
He is fire in phase 1, and in phase 2, he switches to dragon.
Ah, okay, pure dragon. So the hard spikes, well, the hard jagged edges is definitely going close to his draconian lineage. Okay.
Yeah, and his whole design is meant to evoke an emperor, essentially.
And that's what I was getting.
From the crowns, and even his special little gimmick where you can see in the little screenshot I posted there, he's got some spectators. He's got his own personal army to fight you with.
Wait, so these flying worms, I imagine they can swoop down on you?
Yeah. Well, not exactly. It depends on the attack he's doing on, which I'll also show the little drakes he calls in. It's these little buggers. So, essentially, depending on the attack Guan does, he can call in them for support. So he can create a literal firing squad to breathe fire alongside him. He can make them do all sorts of things. And an especially evil thing, at certain points in the fight, he will fly off a stage, call in his minions, and they will swoop by and attempt to pick you up. If they pick you up, that's a one-shot. They chuck you off the arena.
No freaking way.
Yep.
Okay. Color me intrigued. Can I see what this guy does?
Sure thing. I've got a video right here. And it includes both phases to the fight. So you can see what he has on display. That's like his main primary gimmick in the first phase. He's got powerful stomps, a lot of powerful wind pressure attacks where he literally creates like cuts in the air. breathes fire, all that. Like, he was kind of a prelude to what was to come in the future of the game.
You know, I do like how regal he stands.
He is a majestic bastard, nice and tall.
Sitting on his throne.
To show you.
That is a huge amount of tremor.
Yeah. Again, this is like this is like G rank update. So this is when they were starting to lean into, you know, combat and iframing a lot of attacks so that way you don't get hit.
Okay, hear me out. I'm gonna give him a yes, and I'm gonna tell you why. Just DLC, straight up. No backstory, nothing. Just freaking DLC. Yeah. Look at Lucent. Look at Espinos. Look at I forget what Espinos is. Flaming whatever.
Flaming Espinos.
Look at freaking purple Mizu. They just plop them in there. Cool as hell. They could just plop my man in there. Cool as hell.
Phase 2, he forgoes his minions. It's just mono a mono.
Holy smoke.
Yeah. I love how just the sky darkens around him. He gets that like dark black color scheme. All the gold just
flaming
kind of dies out.
He looks like his wings are on fire.
Yeah, that's what happens when he gets like
no, wait, his wings are on fire. Wait,
yeah, that's what happens. So it's like about halfway through phase 1 and phase 2. Yeah, it's just a brawl at that point onwards from phase 2.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Again, it is a G-rank monster, but I think with him, it's the thing where it's like, and I say this after having many hours dedicated to him. Like, this was one of the last monsters I killed in Frontier before it shut down, spending hours, literally Christmas night, trying to take him down. Like, you understand it at a certain point. Like, his attacks are readable. You can see his tells, essentially, like how he moves his head. You can see, like, even with like the dragon energy attack that falls from the sky, it's like, okay, you can see how you approach him, essentially. And I like that. Like, he's a very difficult monster to get the hang of, but
he's fair.
You can get the hang of him, yeah.
So the cool thing about this guy is, like, you may not get me on your first attempt. And honestly, I'm okay with that. I'm down for monsters to be in the game that make it to where, like, just because you've played the game thus far, don't think you're gonna get a free one.
You gotta work for it, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, he was at a point in time where he was basically hinting towards the Zenith monsters. The Zenith monsters came after him, and he was like the precursor to that. Hence why, again, he had like the strongest wind effects and earthquake effects at that point.
His horn crown is insane.
It is so cool. And yeah, you can break that. You can totally break that. And it results in like a full-on stagger where he topples over and is on the ground flailing.
You know what he reminds me of? You know Kush's armor?
Yeah.
He looked like Kush's armor. Like the armor that, yeah. Like, I don't know how else to explain it.
Just like the royal vibes, the crown and the spikes.
Yeah, the crown, the spikes, the wing, the wing tips on like the elbows and such.
Mm-hmm.
Bro looks like a set of armor.
Yeah. I know we didn't do it for the other monsters, but this was the armor you got from him. It's sick as hell. Just look at that MMO-ass armor.
Do you see that cape?
You see, it is his wings. You get his wings as the cape.
That's so godlike.
And yeah, that's only the high rank design, and the G rank design gets his G rank colorations with like the dark red and the like burnt out gold, essentially.
To be fair, you're right. This is MMO as hell. This is MMO anime as hell.
It is.
But I do like it. You know what? Monarch, thank you so much for coming on with me today. Bringing me into the world of Frontier. Like, I would have never guessed to see monsters like this. Like, this is all super insane, but at the same time, I truly believe these monsters themselves can find a place in the grander, more standard fare of Monster Hunter.
And you know, that's what I kind of hope to share or tell, because well, I don't think it was on the record or like in this recording where I said it, but it's just a damn shame that more information about Frontier, people giving it a chance, had to come out after it was dead. And, you know, I think it's good that there are now content creators out there who are doing the job of informing people, hey, this endgame stuff that you see here, these Musos and Zeniths, this isn't all the game has to offer. There are so many monsters to look at, and a whole game behind it of years worth of updates and content creep, where there's also just so much love and dedication and hidden mechanics put into so many of them that's like they all deserve a chance. Now, do some of them require a lot of fine-tuning? Yeah, of course they do. Are some of them gonna be much later down the line? Oh yeah, for sure. That's a given. But they deserve a chance. They deserve to be there and remembered alongside every other monster in the franchise. And I hope that, you know, through this recent burst of information of people giving it a chance, of informing or talking about it with people like you, that people can give it a chance and say, hey, maybe I should try it out. Maybe I should seek out a private server and figure out how to play the game.
You know, I totally agree. I mean, Capcom already opened Pandora's box. We have Espinos.
We have Espinos and his subspecies. It's like the future, we don't know what it holds. It could be anything. Like the very real possibility that one of these monsters here could potentially be in not even Wilds, maybe even the next game, the next generation, just whatever else. The box is open.
Truly.
And this is just a way to keep Frontier's memory alive, its legacy in the franchise, with affecting it with all these mechanics, and just it's beautiful to see. Hell, even some of the people who were involved in Frontier are now working on the mainline games. Like Suzuki himself was a fan, and that's why he introduced Espinos. And I'm pretty sure just recently, screenshots floated around in like one of the Wilds presentations. It's like, oh wait, this is there's one of the people that worked on Frontier listed here. Oh,
Oh yeah, I did see that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, balls in your court, Capcom. But if anything...
yeah.
If anything, though, this is a great way to show the world that there are amazing monsters out there that Capcom already has. It'll take a little work, sure, but they don't have to do too much thinking to get it done. I mean, we already have Espinos. Why not just a couple? Maybe not all these monsters. Maybe one or two. Heck, even...
moderation. Maybe some early ones, obviously, because the later down the line ones would take a lot of work and revamping.
And who's to say if we don't get them in Wilds, whatever the expansion might be, we might get one in there. Because, I mean, we didn't get Espinos till Sunbreak.
Yeah. That's just how it be. Game developments. But
well, with that said, everyone, thanks so much for watching. And Monarch, thank you so much for coming on here with me.
Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to ramble about a game near and dear to my heart. It is truly an honor, man. And, you know, I hope to do just to collaborate more in the future, to talk with each other and all that.
It would warm my heart, and it would be my honor. I love having you on.
Thanks, appreciate it, man. With all that said, it's about time we end the video, eh?
Absolutely. Take care, everyone.